Sweet. Well, welcome everybody. Um, Officially, we are recording. We are live. How's everyone doing post trip?
Very good.
Feels like a dream.
Great. If everyone could just say maybe their name and then a word or phrase to just summarize the trip.
I guess we
Ed,
can
you
go in
wanna-
alphabetical order, so I'll go first. Hello, my name is Edward Hale, and if I had to describe the trip in one word, I'd have to say it was quite.
All right.
Good job.
Amy?
I'm Amy Hines, and one word. I don't know. I guess humble comes to mind. Just the whole experience. A little bit of perspective there.
That's good. Amanda?
I'm Amanda Gentleman, and I think the word I would choose would be grateful.
That's good. Bill?
Bill Braun, and I think the word I would choose is fabulous.
Well,
My name's
I'm
Lori
Josh,
Hazy.
and I'm going to...
Sorry, out of order.
Alphabetical order.
Oh, we went out of alphabetical when it
Go,
didn't start with me.
Josh.
Yeah. that we didn't start with, the A's.
The A's and the B's.
Yep.
I'm a little confused.
Are you
with
going to go, Josh,
alphabetical
or
It's-
shall I go?
order.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm Josh, and I'm going to steal a phrase from Eddie on the way home, and that is a community built around chairs.
No,
That wasn't
my
a
name's
word.
Lori Hazy. And my word would be
It was a
amazing.
phrase. Amazing. Great. Cool. Well, to start things off, I am just going to play the 1-minute video that we played in church today, and just maybe get some first reactions from that video.
Good, because I didn't see it.
I'm going.
Without Molly.
Molly said she's not going.
Not going. I convinced her. Actually, she's like, I just can't eat caterpillars. Sorry.
Can't do the walkie-talkies either.
So I win.
Oh gosh. Even the video, it like makes me ache to want to go back.
I know
Like that
it.
was just such a cool
That was
experience.
a great job, Josh. It really,
Yes.
just that
Oh.
snippet of wonderfulness.
Mhm.
Really was.
Oh, and
Yeah,
the
for-
song.
Left me wanting
And the
more.
song. It just
That was
brings you right back.
Sorry, what did you say, Lori?
I said it was perfect. The music and just the whole thing. It left me wanting more.
If we were just to kind of rewind a little bit, before the trip, what were some of your expectations going into the trip, and how did those expectations, were they met? Was it changed?
I can't say that I really had a lot of expectations going into the trip, except that I wanted to be God's hands and feet. Whatever that meant, I didn't know, and so I was going to be open to whatever came up, and I hope I was. Whatever needed to be done, whatever needed to go through. It's like, let's just go do it. And so I didn't have expectations of how God was going to move that way.
Maybe any surprises?
I was a little taken back by the poverty level that was there. I mean, you kind of anticipate it, but until you're actually there, seeing it with your own set of eyes instead of looking through like a picture or a video, it really starts to set in how good we have it where we're at. And that was just kind of one thing from the very beginning, is that there's almost a level of contentment that I don't know that us as Americans have really learned to embrace and experience that they have, because they have less and yet they have more at the same time.
Well said, Amy.
Yeah. But we have hacky sacks and we brought hacky sacks. So I think we can contribute that way.
We can contribute that way with hacky sacks. So how do you see God moving there in Mozambique?
I think just the contentment that Amy was just talking about. That even though they're poor, that they don't have a whole lot, they don't know where the next meal's coming from often, that they still have joy, joy for life. And, I mean, that's one of the things that it's like, I knew that I needed was to be able to, have that kind of kickstart my faith again. That it's like, I don't have to this or that, I need to know that, okay, God's there, going to take care of me, period. To sit and worry about whatever is going on, it isn't going to help anything. But to, just have the joy that He gives us and live that out. I still have a lot of room to grow, believe me. But
Don't we all?
That's what being a follower of Christ is.
I also felt like seeing God in the neighbors that helped, they helped each other. The caretakers that could be anywhere from a kid to a grandma that could barely move. And the teachers and how they step up in a different way than we're used to seeing with teachers all the time, I think. And so it's just how the people also embrace the kids and some of the really hard situations.
Yeah, what's crazy about those caretakers is sometimes it's just your older sibling who's still in high school.
And themselves.
Yeah, and themselves.
It was cool to see God move through His providence with the administration at the school. I thought it was really neat to see how the people there were uniquely gifted for the area. Like how Sergio was very financially savvy, and how Antonio, it seemed like, carried the school on his shoulders. And it just seemed like everybody was very uniquely gifted. Like even our bus driver, it seems divine that he found this this school to drive for, considering just the type of human that he is. I know Sybil talked a little bit about that. It was just a really cool story. That makes him sound like he's some weird type of human, but I think you guys were all there, weren't you?
I don't think I was.
No. She's like, he's just a very delicate man. She's like,
Oh yes.
I don't remember that.
He's not a manly man.
he's not a manly man, but this works for him.
Like, Sybil, I don't want to do hard things.
But I just thought it was so sweet to see how, like, the obvious answer would be like, oh, I see how God works there through Sybil.
Mm-hmm.
But it's neat
Totally.
to see how through the entire administration, even down to their bus drivers and their cooks, it's just the hand of God there.
Mm-hmm. And like how they met each other and how they got woven into that was just a divine appointment, and each and every one of them, their stories that we've heard, and how they found Sybil and how they came into the role at that school is pretty cool.
So one of our grace anchors at PV, and I was thinking about this a lot on the way home, is that His grace is all we need for this life and the next. how do you see that statement or that truth lived out in the kids in Mozambique?
When when we were doing the interviews with the kids and we were asking them like what kind of prayer requests would you like or do you have for you and your family, and several of them, if not almost, I mean, I would say probably 90% of them said that they just wanted to get closer to God and Jesus and have their families know Jesus more and to have the ability to read the Bible and just keep coming to school so that they can learn more about Jesus. So that's not something that I would typically hear from American students is, the prayer request would be for, for my family member to get better. That's great. Or, the next Nintendo, game. And they just want more of Jesus, which is.
There's a song that I remember from growing up, like with the older hymns and stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the song I Saw Jesus in You, but it basically was a song that talks about when they got to heaven, like the impact that these different people on earth had, that through their actions and the way that they praised God, that they basically saw God through them. And that song kind of sifted through my head periodically throughout the trip, kind of playing off what Amanda was just saying, is because when you're in America, there's not a lot of talk, unfortunately, about, just not just always being thankful or like, sorry. Yeah, I don't know, just playing off the song, it just reminded me of they clearly have Christ in their life. They clearly have a love for Christ and they're not afraid to talk about it, and their actions show. I don't know.
I think it goes back to what I was talking about earlier with just having that joy that it is just so evident in joy of life. That, it's so easy to, think that, I mean, the difference between, happiness and joy, it's like happiness is so often based on circumstances. Oh, this didn't go well. And that, but joy, you can still have joy in trials and tribulations because, Christ is there and, you have that joy and you rejoice, for what he does and has done, continues to do.
This is an ignorant statement that may be true, but it seemed as if they lived an eternally focused life, these children. I think it's probably easy for me to say that, and it's easy for me to say it seemed like that because they don't have much on earth. But they had joy that surpasses materialism. It seemed.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. A joy that seems like you can't have unless you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but Christ.
Yeah, cool. Was there any child or maybe just a conversation you had with one of the children or the high schoolers that, I don't know, that you left impacted by?
I did.
This is where we all just go, yes, because we can't say any names.
No. No, I
Thanks
did.
for the reminder.
Would you just have your list ready? I think going into the trip, you had given us an outline of kind of what we'd be doing and, being with the kids a lot and maybe doing some playground work and painting and things like that. So interviews and all of the things that you kind of gave us an idea about, so that sets that expectation. When I got there, I didn't expect as much, like that maybe I'd have to play football or no. I mean, clearly I didn't have to, but they were things that I couldn't do. So, I adjusted. Clearly, I just wasn't doing them. So what else is there? But it's amazing when you're there how the kids will just flock around you. And
Oh, yeah.
in that, I had a couple of sets of kids that clearly weren't the athletes either, but they came over and they talked to me and they asked me questions and we had great conversations. One was in the science fair And so I could ask him about that. He spoke English quite well. Both the boys did. But then when we were back at the school, they sought me out again. One of them tried to teach me hacky sack because you know how good I am at that. Um, Actually, he pitched the ball to me several times, and I didn't do so good. And then I kicked it 4 times in a row. But he was dedicated.
Woo!
Yeah, he was dedicated to teaching me that. And I'm like, I don't play hacky sack. I'd throw the ball to him and tell him to kick it. And he'd go, no, you kick it. And until I kicked that ball, I mean, he was just, and then he found me whenever we were there and would visit with me. And it was just so sweet. And then the science fair boy, too, was, I don't know, maybe just because I couldn't be out there doing these things. I don't know what it was, but it was very sweet that they did. And then there were a couple of gals, too. And the gals, of course, start out with photo, because I'd be taking pictures of what was happening there. But a couple of them just thanked me for speaking the one morning. And so we had just a bit of a conversation about that. But they came back more than once and different days and visited with me. And we just built a connection, which was sweet. Because I thought maybe if I wasn't running around, footballing and volleyballing, that I wasn't going to get to play with them so much. But, it's fun how you just find different things. And they found things in me that made me just go, it just was a different expectation. It just flipped my expectation a little bit on its head. And it was wonderful. And they asked me if I'd come back. And then I went, oh, man.
It's a sign.
Yeah, I know.
Fine.
I know. I wish I could come with you guys next year, but family reunion.
Okay, we're coming.
It was just an aunt and uncle family reunion, I'd even say. Set it aside, but it's siblings from the West Coast meeting in Colorado kind of thing. Anyway, I digress. Yes, Edward.
What do you think would surprise people about these high schoolers, this high school kids specifically, and getting to know them as you've gotten to know them?
They're stoked on school. So if there's any kids watching, stay in school. No, these kids love school and they love learning, and it seems like we don't get that here. So I think it was
the fourth grader was doing algebra that some of the students here would be like whatever, or I forget it was the 7th or 8th grade doing some of the calculus. That was just amazing, and we don't have a whole lot of number of students in that age doing calculus. So maybe they don't either, but it was still impressive.
Right. And she knew several languages. She was my interpreter for a little bit there too. So she's pretty smart.
Yeah, those kids are so smart. It blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, they're so driven, and they have so many aspirations, which is really cool to see because, you ask a lot of the high schoolers here, like, hey, what are you going to do after you graduate? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, and there's, and I'm not saying all of them, but I'm just saying there's a majority.
Talking to me here, man. Be careful.
I'm going to live in my car.
I'm looking at you. So like, I don't know, and every single one I asked, they're like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Or maybe I'll do this, or maybe I'll do this. I'm not sure at this moment, but like, it wasn't like, I don't know. It was like, I want to do this. And I just don't know where I'm going to go yet. But, and some girls are like, I want to be an engineer and I want to be a mechanical engineer. And I don't think I've ever heard a high school girl say that they wanted to be a mechanical engineer. And with my husband being a mechanical engineer, I was like, you go for it. That's just, it's a great job. Go for it. There's a lot of promise there in any country. I just think that was kind of cool that they kind of had an idea of what they wanted to do. And even if they didn't, they at least were pretty excited about the future.
I think if I were to answer that question, I would actually take it back a little bit and just say that they are real. They're real people. It's like for me, I see these kids in my database all the time, but then you get to go there, you get to interact and like talk to them like, oh my gosh, you are a real person that is now being able to experience Jesus in school because of the support that everyone's doing on our side. But I'm like, and you're curious and you're kind. You're curious. Did I say curious? You're curious. And I don't know. It's so cool.
There was one particular person that was with her family, and she said that she loves when Americans come to visit, because even though it's not her American family, her specific person that came, that it feels to her that they did through us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, what an awesome opportunity we have to represent those people from our church, the American families in our church. And also that they're looking at us as their American families, even though we're not specifically.
They truly are.
They're looking at us like, this is, I want you to experience my love, or like the kids want us to experience their love so that we can pass it on to their American families. They would hug me and they would say, hey, can you just hug my American family for me to hear, pass it on. And I just thought that was so neat that we could.
I want to just share this little video. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but this was from one of the girls. She's part of the other PNP program. So I actually don't know what her name is, but I thought this was really cool.
All the things thank you for all the things I can do for me, and pray again to me to restart to finish that I study. Please, God bless you. All the things what can do for me, and Mr. Angela doing for don't do for me and another people what they are doing for me. Thank you.
I love that video for so many reasons. But one of the things that actually blew my mind afterwards, so I love the video. I was playing it and Sybil heard it and she said, wait, who's that? And so I showed her and she goes, that is a miracle. When we got that girl, we thought she was mentally handicapped and there's no way that she was going to get through school. And here she is speaking English pretty well. And so I'm like, that's amazing. Like, that's what the school is doing for these kids.
Yes.
I just love her heart too.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't thinking about just herself. She was thinking about all the others as well. She's like, I hope that God blesses you so that you can do things not just for me, but even if it's not for me, it's for everybody. I thought that was, she's not for herself.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Let's switch gears a little bit because the trip had a lot of emotional moments, heartfelt moments, but let's look at some of the fun stuff that we did. What's your fun takeaways?
Eating chicken parts.
Hey, I have a video of that too.
I know it, and I laugh so hard every time I think of it or I come across the pictures. Oh,
I missed it.
I'll do it again.
Oh, it's
Very
not
sure.
working. We only hear the sound.
yeah.
Matata.
Oh. Right along with the caterpillars.
Yeah. They were thick too. They were.
Yeah.
When you bit them, you could feel the feet on your tongue.
Yeah.
Feel it crawling away.
It was a good time.
I like the chicken feet where you guys were like, okay, there's 5 fingers. Yeah. And you went down to none, or Eddie did. I think Eddie is where I was like, okay, I have 2 left. Now I have 1. Now I have 0.
It didn't bother Eddie at all. Eddie ate it like a champ.
Fun. Tasted good.
Well,
I love food.
He butchered that chicken.
Indeed. Yeah. Paul is no longer.
No, that was from the night before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he ate the chicken. Wait.
that's right.
Yeah.
I still hit Paul, but it was the next day.
Mhm.
Just not his walkie-talkie.
Yeah, the walkie-talkie. I thought it was so funny that they call them walkie-talkies. And it's like a restaurant, like when you go down the strip, like the shopping strip, it's almost like their McDonald's or their fast food, where it's like it says walkie-talkies. You're like, oh, I guess this is where you go to get fast food. Good old
And
walkie-talkie.
for those that don't know, that's literally their feet and something a part of their head.
It was their head. I think it was.
Well, there was a specific muscle or whatever.
Oh.
The gizzard.
I think it was the gizzard, but
Oh.
I thought,
gizzards
but
in
you
the gut.
actually ate the head, though.
oh,
That's
my
the
God.
yeah. You actually, I think you ate the head, man.
I think
that was
There were
not.
a lot of bones.
Probably the brain or something. I don't know.
that
That's
was,
what I remember.
yeah. You were the only one that. Was he the only one that ate it though?
Mhm.
Was he the only one that?
Eddie didn't eat it?
No, you ate it all.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't share.
wanted it all for yourself, Josh.
I was there for it though. It was good to watch.
You guys peer pressured me into it.
You just went to town. You just kept going, and even like went on your leg, and you're like,
We were trying to calm you down. He said, "No, I can do this." You wanted to keep going. It's like, no, I'm in the mindset. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah,
You was once you get in that zone and that mindset, just you got to finish it.
military
Yeah.
tricking mind over body, mind over matter.
Well, then there was the intestines that everybody slurped like spaghetti. Oh,
Yeah, that was the video that he has where we
Oh.
cheers and we did like, but that's how you had to trick your mind. You had to think it was like a lo mein noodle, and it tasted good. It just was a little.
Uh-huh.
Squirty.
I really can't wait to eat those again. That's not a lot.
Water trapped in it though, and like you would bite and it would like squirt every
It's
time.
just water. They clean
Yeah,
them.
I know, but you couldn't tell yourself it was a noodle anymore then.
It's just like a hot dog, right? You know. That what do you
No,
think?
it was not just like a
Well, I mean, the intestines are, the casings of hot dogs. So
Even
You're
better.
telling yourself
Even
that.
better than hot dogs.
squirts
they
of
are.
ketchup on it.
I know
Josh,
It
when
was
they,
fun to watch.
we're still sharing your screen, so you don't have the pictures very big.
Oh, am I?
It was fun
Oh,
to
I'm
watch
sorry.
Josh
So whatever
shimmy
you're
up
recording.
that pillar.
To
I
watch
see
me
everybody.
what?
Shimmy up that pillar on the guest
Oh.
house.
That's
That
a
was pretty
secret.
fun. Very
Oh,
impressive
you
too.
climbing. Wait, I missed that. You climbing up the guest house, the pillar.
When Josh was climbing the
Yeah.
pillar.
Oh yes.
Yeah, all the way to the
Yeah.
top.
It was also fun to play on that wheelchair in the airport.
Oh my goodness.
Running up the 3 flights of, or running up the escalators backwards.
Oh yeah.
Running up 3 flights of stairs in Texas before we hopped down the.
Yeah, Amy's a
15-hour
drill
flight.
sergeant. And your legs hurt so bad.
Yeah, you guys are going to town.
Well, we had a
Stairs?
15-hour flight. We needed to move our legs first.
I don't care. I could sit forever.
Actually, we should share the first airport story.
Yes.
I almost forgot about this.
I actually thought about like when when we landed in Maputo, we were all waiting for each other to get off because we sat like in separate areas a little bit, and we landed and we got off the plane and we were all waiting for each other, and they kept on like, okay, go, keep going, keep going, keep going, and you all just decided to start like a hacky sack game. Just randomly, oh, right there. Didn't even go into
Right, we got
school.
scolded.
We
We got in
did.
trouble
We got
for
in
that.
trouble for
We
that.
did.
Yeah.
We just got to Mozambique. We're already in trouble with the airport police.
Because we were waiting.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. But no, that's not what I was thinking about.
Oh, sorry, Josh.
I was thinking about how this trip almost didn't happen.
Right.
Or at the very least
Right.
was
Flight
very delayed.
canceled.
Yeah.
Yes, Wednesday we got the text message. First it was delayed, no big deal. Then it was canceled, and then I was panicking. Like, this can't be real. This is gotta be fake. But we called our travel agent. She's like, "Yep, it's real. Closest next flight isn't until Friday." And I'm like, "That can't happen." She goes, "The best thing you can do is leave immediately and get to the airport." And somehow all 6 of us were able to be ready in 45 minutes.
That's
We
crazy.
took off. Yeah. I'm mind blown. I thought there's no way. But we took off, got to the airport, walked in, walked past one of the greeters. He asked what we were doing. I explained it quickly. He's like, all right, just go over there. We went to the counter, and the lady again is like, sorry, we can't help you. I can maybe do Thursday if you want to stay in a hotel. And I was like, can't do that. Like,
But the
I want to leave now.
Yes.
Yes, but the children. So we walked out, and I was going to call the travel agent lady again, but we walked past the guy that first saw us, and he's like, hey, what's going on? Explained it again to him. He's like, no, come with me. Went to the computer, and he worked there, I don't know, was it 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it was a while.
It was a long time. And he was telling me the whole time, he's like, this isn't going to work. You can maybe send 3 people today, 3 people tomorrow. I'm like, well, that doesn't work because we need to all land at the same time. And so he kept looking and looking and looking and looking. And there's 2 more flights happening. And eventually he realized, he's like, oh, the people on the wait list for this next flight, they actually got on this past flight. So you're going to be able to get on this flight if you leave right now. So we all took off with the security, got to our flight, and all 6 of us got going. Yeah, and it happened to be an earlier flight than what we originally planned, so it gave us another hour in Texas, which was nice.
Yes.
And then another crazy thing is, so when we landed in Maputo, so we're at the airport, and we going to get our tourist visa. The credit card Visa machine was down that day. And so the only way to pay was through Medicals, which is their local currency. And there's no way to get Medicals on that side of the airport. And so luckily, just a couple of days prior, one of the girls from our trip from last year, she forgot to get her money exchanged. She handed it to me and said, here, you can use this on the trip. And that money ended up covering our visa into the country, which is just
Yes. Yes.
mind blown.
God watch.
And I mean, this trip almost didn't happen at all because we didn't have very many people to actually come on.
Oh, yeah. If you rewind that even more in the history, yeah, the trip almost didn't happen on the original dates, but then we had to move dates because I had a baby.
And there was civil unrest.
Yeah, there's a little civil unrest, but that was mostly fine. But then we moved dates. You 6 signed up, and you were like, all right, we got a team.
It was meant to happen.
Amazing team.
Yep. Some might even say the best team.
Amazing.
Not me. I wouldn't say that.
That's my vote.
Oh,
That's my vote.
I am not allowed to have favorite teams.
But
Wink, wink.
we all know.
Wink, wink. But you're a fun team.
We know the truth, Josh. We're your favorites. So it's okay.
We were the most animated.
You were definitely the most animated, the most loud.
Yeah, I think Sybil got a little bit of entertainment by us being there.
Yeah, I think she thoroughly enjoyed it.
I still can hear her, like her barrel laugh, like where it gets really big, and then Eddie, and she would just start like busting out laughing because Eddie said or did something.
Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever Eddie was going to do in the moment. Eating 8 things of bread for breakfast.
Pow!
Yeah, you're the new POW champ.
And even like taking some to the bus with you.
Oh, yes, I did eat that one. I don't think it made it to the bus though.
Oh, I thought you were.
I was going to, but I think I ate it before I got on the bus.
Yeah, I ate mine on the bus.
So
It was so good.
I love.
So
food.
we're all home now, living our life.
Wait, Laura. Lori,
What's that?
what was Lori gonna? Lori was about to say something.
Oh, Lori, were you gonna say something?
no, I just said yes. We're all home now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep. How are you thinking about the trip now? What are you applying in your life? What has been stirring in your heart since?
I feel like I haven't had time to process it yet. still, or I shouldn't say it. I have not prioritized time to process it. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But it does, I get asked about it a lot, so it forces me to make a chaotic recap in my mind to tell people.
Yeah, I put together a presentation to show my small group, and it took probably an hour, recapping stories and what the purpose is and blah 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 through the whole thing, and uh, then went for a walk, and a neighbor asked, "Oh, how was your trip?" And it's like, I didn't have a 2 or 3 minute little recap kind of a thing, and so that's hard to try to recap the story in different time frames that people have, um, and so what's really
Let me
what's
ask
the
you this.
important thing to share with this person versus somebody else.
Let me ask you this. What is your favorite story to share, Bill?
I think when I bugged out of one of the interviews, and went over to the high school to visit the chemistry classroom, and then I mean, they asked me, is like, what's the difference between teaching in America versus here? And I tried to, well, it's like, sometimes this lecture, a demonstration, a lab, or just a question that students have to try to figure out and discuss, or and then it's like, well, teach us. And so I'm like, well, I don't have anything to teach you with there. It's like, I can't bring anything over and whatever. And so it's like, what could I have prepared? It's like, I use the one of the demonstrations from the talent show, and so just talking about the talent show with people and how it's not like an American talent show, is really kind of cool. But and so then I tried to go through some stuff, and at the end of the period, the teacher asked them to share some things, and one of the kids was like, chemistry is no different in Mozambique as it is in America. And it's like, right on. It's like, it's the same, that people are the same, that the chemistry is the same. It's like, we're the same. And so that was kind of a cool reflection of a kid after the hour I was with them.
I would say for me, what I came home with was just, I kept thinking about just the pure faith that I saw there. Starting with Sybil, of course. I mean, I feel like every question I could have just went, Sybil, but I'm not going to. But
Yep.
the amazing faith of 100% of your life is dedicated to. Here it's so interrupted. I don't know. So I just have my personal goal, I guess, is, well, I always feel like I'm still a child in my faith. I always feel like there's more to learn and different ways of learning and all of the things. But I feel like Sybil, her workers, the kids in the school, the pure faith that they have, and we've talked about it in the joy and they are, they just have that faith with nothing. And here I don't know, it's hard sometimes to emulate, because I came back and I felt just, feel it in your heart, Mozambique. But there's just roadblocks, in life, like you come back, your family's, I'm sure, hanging off you and the kids and all the things. Not that changes your faith, but I don't know, just that pureness of that was amazing to me, and it just gives me something to shoot for.
I want to come off what you said, Lori, about how things just kind of slowed down. It wasn't as go go go, like it was go, go, go there, but there were times where it was like, well, let's just change what we're doing. We're going to go to 2 weddings right now and just random. And we're like, wait, what are we doing? Yeah, you said
Right, but
you wanted
even
to go to
there,
weddings,
the
so
way
we're
that
just going to
people,
go. And okay.
yeah, even there though, the way that people were drawn to Sybil, because why? Because of
Yeah,
her
absolutely.
faith and her faith in the people
Because of
and
Jesus
what
that's in
she's
her, right?
taught them all. And I mean, it really is just working in my heart for sure, because it's, to me, it was an amazing trip. That was my one word at the beginning.
I know if I'm Chad's favorite phrase, if I'm being honest, as I reflect back, one of the things I have this happens every year. I have a really hard time coming back to America, and every year it seems to get harder. In my heart, like, and I have to battle this daily. Like, I start to resent the things that I have here, and resent like the blessings that I have. Thinking about the kids over there, and that's something that, like, I have to work within my heart to amend. But and then I just want to be there. I just want to be there all the time. But one of the things that I have been reflect on is just one of the things I can do is just get their story out there more and define more. Like, I can be their American ambassador to help them find financial support and whatever in lots of different ways. All that to say, one of my favorite things about this trip for me is the very last family that we interviewed was one of the worst situations that you can
Yes,
have.
yes.
Just a family of, was it 4 or 5, just the kids. They have nothing, no jobs, terrible house. And the unfortunate side, at least that I know of, I don't know if you guys caught on, they're not the only ones like that. There are a lot more of them that are in that kind of situation. And that's really hard to see and process. But then, so Sybil was telling us they had their first high school graduating class last year, 20 students. Of those 20, 19 are off in college. The one that isn't is going to Bible school. You saw that one girl I said a thank you video. So we saw the beginning of their story, at least into where we get to play a part of. We also got to see what the end result is, and they can see how God is faithful to these kids and gives them the grace to grow and gives them a future here. And obviously we know they have an eternal future. But yeah, that for me is what I've been hanging on to. Amy, you got anything?
Did you say my name?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
He's sleeping.
I guess I was just I was thinking through what you had just said. I
Yep.
agree with it completely. Just the whole thing, the impact, the humility check as you come back to America and you realize how much we have and they don't. The whole thing was just very insightful. But if we're going off of like favorite moments, mine was probably with the child that I get to sponsor. So I got the opportunity to meet him and see his home and do an interview, talk with him and his family a little bit. But he sat there in silence and he nodded and he acknowledged, but it was probably somewhat awkward for him and a little intense. Well, fast forwarding 2 days later, we're at the primary school and you get 30 or 40 kids coming at you and you're playing and hanging off you, which is great, but you're trying to also at the same time towards the end say goodbye to them. And as I'm waving goodbye and I'm kind of just scanning the crowd of kids, there he is in the middle of the crowd. And part of the gift that I had given him was this notebook. I had wrote a letter, and then I had a picture of my family in it when you first opened up the notebook. And there he is. He had brought the notebook to school, and he held it up in the crowd with the photo. And it was a very cool moment. I obviously stopped and went over there and gave him a hug, and it was just kind of a reminder that, like, maybe you're not sure if you made an impact or had a moment with him, but clearly he remembered, and he knows that me and my family are his American family. It was just a very sweet, sentimental moment, and I think that was the highlight of my trip.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, as we're I think we're gonna get near to the end here. I want to kind of ask a question around that, but also around the trip. If someone's listening, maybe this is an unfair question to ask, but I'll ask it anyway. Someone's listening, and they're thinking about sponsoring a kid. What would you say to them? And in this, I guess maybe if you don't want to answer that one, you could answer, if someone's thinking about going on this trip, what would you tell them?
Don't overthink it and just go. Yeah.
Let go of the expectations and just go. It'll work in your heart.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, because the randomness of the days sometimes was wonderful. You don't always know what you're doing, and you go do this thing, and there's another wonderful there. Even though it might have been something that was even on your radar, it was, yeah, do it.
I would say do it and expect God to show up, because he's not going to see you doing this and not show up. He will show up. And also make sure that when you are playing with the kids, you tie your pants really tight.
Amen to that.
And you hang on to your hair too.
Yeah, they try to pull your pants down. They try to pull your hair out.
Yeah.
They go crazy.
I think if you go on a trip, you really have to be willing, ready to put aside your, I don't know, your belief system, your concepts of how things should be. I was talking to somebody sharing, at church, a little bit about the trip, and it's like, well, do they have running water? And it's like, well, they don't have to have running water. It's like there's nothing wrong with, they need to have clean water, but it doesn't have to be running water in their homes. And our conception is that we've got to have this, it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way, and it doesn't. And I forget who had shared that maybe it was you, Josh, or maybe it was somebody when I got back, I don't know, that it was just like, it's different, not better. It's like our way of life isn't better, and we don't have to impose our way of life on them and their culture. And I mean, I still struggle with, the fact that these elderly women were sitting on the floor, sitting on the ground, while the young people sat in chairs, young men were sitting in the chairs, and the elderly women were there first. And it's like, that's just hard. That is like, when I saw them, getting up and down, I know they were very slow, and it ached, and that's their culture. Doesn't mean that it has to be the way that I think it should be. And it's not easy to put aside our beliefs and make everybody's like, no, they have to do it this way, they have to believe this, that, and so to put those kind of things aside, it's sad to see, I mean, the technology and whatever the Western culture that is, there, and, they're able to, a few anyway, that, get into, whatever movies and, TV shows and, crap from the West that, you know, um, and how it's just promoting, the materialism and sex and and you go on, and it's just like, what we're trying to impose onto these other people as, right, and it's like, oh my goodness, we need to, be the ones that have our attitude changed on, that are going to be content with what we have and joy, and um, it's not about our way is better.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to serve the women lunch first, though, even though they were on the floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was okay or not, but we did it and it worked out.
Sometimes we can just do things our way.
Exactly.
Just to also point out how much of a servant's heart they all had there. Like, we were constantly served the entire time. I mean, there was the hospitality.
Theodora and Tia
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool too. They were just so kind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite moments ever was the first year I was there. We asked one of the caretakers, who had absolutely no reason to take in the child, like, why did you do this? And I'm going to paraphrase his quote, but he quoted it from the Bible and was like, if you see a need and you have the means to do it, you got to do it. And I think that's the heart of a lot of them.
Yes. I mean, that last family you were talking about, if you look around there, I mean, it's neighbors that are just...
It's all neighbors.
Feeling those...
I love, the communal help is not something that you see in America, typically. But one thing that stood out to me was like, there was a phrase that just kept on popping in my head, and it said just one, or and I keep saying this because it keeps coming in, because I used to read Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I guess there's this story in there that there's all these starfish that come and just get washed up on this beach, and you see tons of starfish, and there's this guy that's just like picking up one starfish, putting it in next, and just walking the beach and just throwing starfish back into the ocean. And this guy comes up and says, why are you doing that? Like, what impact are you going to make? Like, what exactly do you think you're going to do here? And he goes, well, it made a difference for that one. And I think that is the heart that we're hoping for those who have even the slightest desire or tap on the shoulder from God about Mozambique and the kids there, whether it's you're sponsoring or whether it's you're going to be an American family, or whether you're going to be on the ground there being the representatives for all the American families here. And if you don't think you're going to make an impact, God's going to impact those children through you, and also through yourself, because
even more impact you.
Yes. And you can't get impacted that way outside of you can, but not as abruptly as going outside of your culture into a different one, which is, I think, one of the reasons why God says, go and be dispersed, like, go make disciples. Well, one of the reasons is so that we can see some of the things that may not be accurate in our culture, and maybe another person's culture is doing right, or like things that you need to fix. Your heart condition is just not right compared to this culture. And it really points out, and God impacts not only the kids, but yourself massively in lots of different ways. So you could be just the one. You could be just one.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for sharing. Definitely thank you all for going. As I like to say to people now, thank you for coming and meeting my friends. It was a great time.
How many
Maybe.
times have you been there, Josh?
Just three now.
Just 3. That's
But
I know you.
but
I
with
know
like
you have
50
heart
more to
for
go.
it, and it shows. So I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
thinking-
liking the shirt, Josh.
Oh, thank you. Which one? This one or this one?
The over
Nice.
the one
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was-
No,
Double Mozambique.
I love this shirt. Yep. Mozambique, made fresh, authentic.
Look at that. Eddie's wearing one too.
Eddie's wearing one. What do you got?
I'm accidentally wearing mine today.
6
It's the
layers.
only shirt I have that's clean.
Oh.
That's
Mind you got another one in your backpack. You just didn't know it's there.
yeah. All right. Boy noite. Which is good
Oh,
night. I'm learning.